Hello, it's week 21 of season 5 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is Barney Runs for Sheriff. Barney, Andy tells me that once again he's been thinking of taking another job he's been offered and leaving Mayberry. And I say, well, I guess that's more important than a lifetime of friendship and teamwork fighting shoulder to shoulder against organized crime. Then he says it sounds like a good opportunity, an executive training program with a big company, a lot more money, and maybe a position in Europe or South America. He says he'd take Aunt Dee and Ultie with him, and if things go well, he'd send for Helen later on.
And he says if he leaves that you should run for sheriff, because he's not even going to file for re-election. And you say, yeah, you will do that.
But then Andy gets a phone call saying that job went to somebody else, so he's not going to leave Mayberry after all. And he tells me that news, and I say, they can't do that. That's a terrible thing to do to a man. That's like pulling the rug out from under you. But he says they did do that, and now I'm the only one on the ballot, and he's not running for re-election, and it's too late to change it. So he's out of the job. And he says something will come up, and I say, well, just don't you do anything till you hear from me. I'll think of something by the time we caucus.
So you form a civic delegation and have them meet at Andy's house that night, and you all are waiting there when he gets home from work.
And I tell him, we as a group of concerned citizens have a proposal about the office of sheriff. What we want to do is start a write-in campaign that will re-elect Andy Taylor to office. And I tell him, I'm going to throw all my support his way. And he says that's a pretty big sacrifice I'm making. And Thelma Lou and I say, that's the way I want it. I say, I'll even be his campaign manager. And he says that sounds good. So I appoint Floyd, precinct head of his block, for the campaign, and I tell him the slogan is Win with Taylor. And he's responsible for letting everybody know about the write-in idea.
He says he thinks everyone already knows about it. And then Goober says the same thing down at the filling station when you ask him for his help spreading the word about the write-in.
And then Thelma Lou says the same thing. And I'm starting to get pretty depressed about the fact that nobody was going to vote for me. Of course, Andy and I realize that that's probably because I haven't been campaigning for myself. And he says I ought to do that. And I say, okay, just a token campaign.
So you hire a big old truck with a loudspeaker and a sign, Fight for Sheriff. And you try to hang up posters that you had made of yourself.
But folks don't want to put up my campaign posters in their shops. And they don't want to contribute to my campaign either. And Andy asks Floyd to put up the poster in the interest of fairness in the barber shop. But before I know that, I go up to them and I say, you think I don't know what's been going on around town? You think I don't know a conspiracy when I see one? Andy, I'm challenging you to a free and public debate. You just show up, because I'm blowing the lid off. So at my opening statement at the debate, I bring in 76 cases of malfeasance in office committed by Andy, of which I discussed 3. Malfeasance number 1. Traffic in this town is completely out of control. Jaywalking is rampant. Malfeasance number 2. Your sheriff has not kept up with the times. He has not equipped his office like other law enforcement agencies in this state have. Malfeasance number 3. Are you aware that your sheriff carries no gun? Is this good government?
And then Andy gets up and responds. He says it's such a small town, he's never seen need for those things. He says you're all either satisfied with me or you're not. I guess we'll find out at the election.
And I get back up, and I'm kind of ashamed. I say, I was satisfied with Mr. Taylor's answers, and I'm going to vote for Andy. And then we hear my loudspeaker truck outside, and I say, I told that guy just up until 9 o'clock. And later, Andy asked me what I did with the 100 campaign posters I bought, and I say, well, my room needed painting anyway.
We'll see you next week for episode 22.